Why is it that goodness, rather than serving us, has become a tool to serve the others? If we are good people, shouldn't doing good make us feel good or make us feel elevated or nice about ourselves? Why does it end up making us hate ourselves even more, doubt ourselves even more? Hello guys, today in this video I am gonna tell you about why you are not a good person, and it's probably time that you accept. Pretty strong going into it, but I have a reason why I say it, so let me explain. Poked me. The need to be good. Why is there a need to be good? Why do you feel there is a need to do good by other people, to do good in the society? I'm not talking about 100% of the cases, but let's talk about the 99% of the cases. When you grow up, there are certain things, certain attributes that you might have accumulated. Maybe it was the way that you could survive, by doing good, by doing things that are convenient for the other person, by doing things that are deemed as good by the other person. That's only when they call you a good person, right? If you do good by yourself, then you're probably being called a selfish person. But if you're being called good, that means you're probably serving a purpose of some other person. So let's start to explore why is it that we feel the need to be a good person. So, you had a mother, and in order to survive, in order to ensure that your mother continues to give you food, continues to give you love, you had to be nice. You had to be nice and compliant and do everything that she was asking you to do. And that is why you learned how to be good. So as you grew up, you started thinking that I should do nice things to people because that will mean they will like me and I will fit into the society, and they will call me in their plans. They will think I'm important. They will be my friend, and that's why you continue to be good at the expense of your own boundaries, at the expense of what you yourself want. So this is a very watered down version of why you might want to do good by people, why you might want to be good to people. That there could be n number of reasons, why you want to do good. But let's just explore this angle that you just want to be good. And you're so guilty whenever you don't do good. Whenever you say no to people, you're just guilty. You're like, I am supposed to be a good and nice and agreeable person. But shit, I really want to say no, but I can't. But why can't you? So there could be a number of reasons, right? There could be the reason of you just want to be good because you have had the experience of bad people in your lives and you just want to do good by people now. Or it could just be like you have attained that level of nirvana in your mind that you're just like, I just want to do good by people. I'm just a good person, you know. But we're just talking about in this video, let's just talk about why being good is exhausting you, and that in turn could mean that you're not a good person and you're just lying to yourself. We just explored why there's a need to set an identity as a good person to begin with. The second thing is the sense of belonging. You want to belong to a particular sector, to a particular sect of people. If you're a bad person, you're a villain. If you're a good person, you're a hero. So you want to belong. I'm a nice person. I can relate to people who do nice things, who give out to charity, who help people in need, who donate. I identify with those people. I'm a good person. But what if I do have 500 rupees in my pocket, but I don't feel like giving that money to the beggar because right now my condition is like I need the money, but I don't need it. I just need it, and I'm not giving it to a beggar. Am I a bad person? Moral conflict. So when you're a good person, when you're not doing good, when you're not doing the definition of yourself that you define as good, then you're probably guilty about it, not being able to do good. Or even if you do good at the expense of your own boundaries, at the expense of what you actually want, you hate yourself for not being able to stand up for yourself. But you're supposed to be good, right? Why is there this friction? Why is there this friction that I want to do good, but I do good, I still hate myself? Why is that? Wanting to be a good person is not a bad thing, it's not a wrong thing, and you should probably strive for doing good by people. You should strive for doing good for the masses, for the people. Why not? Let's be good. But why is there a problem to begin with? When you say, I'm a good person, is it defined? Yeah, probably if you go to a Merriam-Webster dictionary, you will find the meaning of good, but in your head, when you say, this is a good person, how do you know the definition is exactly of a person who will do good by people and not a person who believes in self erasure just to fit in, just to be accepted because that's how they grew up? So, the definition of I'm a good person and what the definition is of that could really be heavily influenced by your own prejudices and ideals of what a good person should be like. And, might I add, might not be very realistic. So, when you say I'm a good person, what exactly is the person that you imagine? Let's do this activity. Why don't we write it down? Why don't we write down all of the good characteristics that a good person will have? So I've written down 5 things. If you're following around, I would assume that you would have also written down something. Please compare what are the things that are matching and what are the things that are not matching. But this is my definition of a good person, right? Listens to parents, very big factor. Does all their duties diligently, why not? Karma yogi. Never too greedy and believes in sharing, because sharing is caring. Always has people's back. Yeah, because knows how to prioritize others' need whenever necessary. Because I have had a very bad history of being a people pleaser, and I've done some therapy of myself. And I have realized that it is good to prioritize others' need, but whenever necessary is a very good line to add there. So, the definition of what is a good person differs for different people, and whatever I wrote, someone who might be very good person and has some issues with what I think as a good person can still stand and can be very valid. Like someone can dispute me on what I think is a good person, right? And someone can dispute you on what you think is a good person. So it's very subjective how to be a good person and if you are a good person to begin with. So the thing that I showed you just now was what I thought a good person is, what I think a good person is right now. But if you would have asked me 3 years ago if I was a good person, or what I think is the definition of good person, the definition would have vastly differed first, second. I probably would have thought I'm not a good person and I would have not agreed it to anyone. I would have just said I'm a good person, but internally I would have thought, fuck, you wouldn't understand the shit I go through. Well, in reality, it's just you giving yourself mental drama when it's not even necessary. For this particular thing, I want to give you an example. Now, think of a relationship not working out. You're in a relationship, it was going very good, but suddenly you realize it's not working out and things are not going good, you're stagnant and you keep on fighting with each other. You feel like you want to leave, right? But you're a good person. How can you reject a person whom you have kept so many promises with, right? So you can't reject them, you can't leave them because you're a good person. So you stay. But your heart's not in it. And you tell this to some other friend of yours because you want to discuss or want advice, whatever the need is. The friend is like, you're such a bad person. You're like, what? How? I'm staying, I'm a good person. No, you're a bad person because you're staying. How does that make sense? The good thing would be to leave. Your heart is not in it. You're lying to that man. You're lying to yourself. You should just leave. Does that make me a good person or does that make me a bad person because then I'm selfish? How are you selfish? Well, because I'll be acting in my own interest. In your own interest, a relationship is of two people. If your heart is not in it, the relationship is not gonna work out. So you are being a bad person. Damn. See, in this scenario, this other girl thought the good thing to do was to stay. But this girl thought the good thing was to do was to leave. So goodness can be very subjective. Let's first keep that in mind. Let's now get into why do we, even after realizing all of this, why do we still want to people please? Why do we still want to keep this identity for ourselves that we are a good person? Back when I was like a teenager, I wrote this poem about good people. Because my heart really wanted one thing, but my people around me kept on telling me to go for this other thing. And I kept on thinking, but I don't want that, I want this. And then the reason that they gave me to choose that thing was, you shouldn't do that because you're a good person and a good person would never do that. And it's not like I wanted to kill someone, but it's just something that I really wanted. But I couldn't get it because apparently A good person would never want to do something like that. So, conflict, right? Conflict. Now, if I tell you what that thing exactly was, you would be like, how does that even fall into being a good person or a bad person? It doesn't. But people manipulate you because you want to hold on to an identity so much that you are willing to listen to crap amount of arguments just so that you want to prove to yourself that I'm a good person. But when you're fighting for your life, just to hold on, just to conform to an identity, you would kill people just to convince yourself that you're a good person. If you want to prove to yourself that you're disciplined, right? When you're not really disciplined, but you just want to prove to yourself, you just want to feed yourself something, you would do something so drastic that no one would have ever thought of, just to prove to yourself that you are disciplined. And when you come back, when that drastic thing ends, you come back to yourself and then you're like, but I can't do this one simple thing. That's what I mean when people just want to be good for the sake of an identity. They don't really know what is good, and they don't really know what they are. They don't explore themselves because they are just operating behind a mask, and that mask is flawed because your perception of that mask should be is flawed. I know, crisis. Even after so many things, even after it's becoming so apparent that it is wrong and it should not be done, and that even if you're doing it, you should be aware of it. Why are people still continuing to play this good game? Why do people want to appear as good while stabbing you behind your back? Why can't they just be what they are in front of you? Why are they creating such confusion? Well, there's a threat to survival, you know? In their own mind, they know it. If they're not good, if they're not presenting themselves as good, you won't talk to them. And they're afraid of that happening. Even yourself, if you're like, I'm a good person, but I don't have time right now to be at my friend's this event. I don't have time. But I want to be a good person. And I don't want to say no. So you keep on pushing the no part. You keep on pushing it. At the end moment, your friend calls, where are you? The event is starting. You're like, oh, I'm coming. Wait, okay? And then the time goes by. And then you've not washed your hair, you've not decided on a dress. You just come from office, you're panicking, you've not taken a bath, and you have to be there in 5 minutes, and your friend lives 2 hours away. And you just wanted to be a good person, and you just didn't want to say no. But what ended up happening is you both are disappointed, and you both are probably feeling that you're not a good friend to the other person. Well, this could have been avoided if you would have just said, I'm sorry, I'm busy that day, I won't be able to make it. Doesn't mean that my love for you has decreased, but just means I'm busy. Now, as you can see, this creates a lot of issues. This conformity to a certain a mold, certain mask. This creates a lot of issue. The biggest being your loss of authenticity. You don't get to explore who you are. Like if you're a shitty person, see yourself to the end of it. Go all in. You're a shitty person, and then one day you suddenly stop wanting to be a shitty person, and you'll actually learn how to not be a shitty person. This is one thing that I told my friend one day. I don't know if she remembers it, but one day what was happening is I was showing her something and she was very excited to see it. And she told me that she was really into it and she loved it, and then she was so excited I was doing something like that. And I was like, I actually can sense fakeness. It's something very embedded in me because I guess growing up I had a lot of fake people around me. So I can just sense fakeness, like shift in emotion, I can just sense it. So I couldn't understand that she was faking it. Even though she was a very good friend of mine, I was like, I can see that you're faking it, but why are you like exaggerating it so much? Like you're blowing this out of proportion. Like why? She was like, well, you're doing something like that, so I should show you my excitement even though you're not feeling it, even though I'm not feeling it. You don't have to do that, but I should, because I wanna promote you. When you fake it all the time, you stop wanting to be genuine because you can just fake it. Do you understand what I'm saying? What I'm saying is you become so good at faking a particular personality that you stop wanting to make efforts to actually be that thing. If you can just chat GPT an answer and be good at that answer, then why would you want to put in the efforts to learn how to be good at answering? And there's not gonna be any way that you're gonna have character development by doing shitty things. You know, you do shitty things, karma is gonna hit you, and you're gonna understand and learn through your experiences how to not be a shitty person. And then you're gonna actually want to be a good person. Okay? So have your complete character arc. Stop faking shit that you don't mean. Okay? I wanted to be there. I wanted to be there with you, but I couldn't be. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But you're not sorry. But why are you saying you're sorry? Oh, I'm afraid I'm going to lose this person. Then you should have been there. But I have this other thing to do. Then you should have just told them that you're not going to be there. But then I'm going to lose that person. Then lose that person. Lose that person. Feel what it's like to lose that person. Then this fakeness of I am sorry would not come. Instead, it will be you running towards that person full speed, wanting to save something. Not because you're I am sorry, but because you want to be there. I really hate those people who put bandages on things like I really wanted to do it but I couldn't. I really wanted to do it but I didn't have time. Fuck your excuses, man. If you wanted to, you would have. If you didn't want to, you didn't do it. That's okay too. That's okay. But I really wanted to do it but I couldn't, band-aid. But in reality, you were just sitting on your ass, chilling around. Suddenly, at the end of the moment, you realized I had to do this thing, and then you forgot, and then you have to put a band-aid. I did a lot of efforts, but I couldn't make it happen. Bullshit. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you. Oh, I'm so aggressive right now. I don't want to be aggressive. I'm a pretty person in white angel. Yeah, right. Being good, first of all, makes you feel like other people like you. But second of all, it makes you like yourself. But if you're faking it, then it's gonna make you hate yourself. Because it's gonna catch up. At first, you're gonna find it very nice, but you're gonna fall out. You're gonna have this discrepancy between what you were supposed to do and what you actually ended up doing. And how good were you, the degree of goodness that you showed. It's gonna catch up and it's gonna be poisonous trying to deal with the aftermath of everything. So how to break this cycle, how to not conform to an identity that you've told yourself, that you've set yourself in. How to not conform. Do the tedious work of doing the unknown. Because for you it's unknown. Try saying no. Be the bad person. Try saying no, for instance. Your friends always make plans. You're the one who keep on popping in and saying, can't mean, I'll be there. And sometimes they call you, sometimes they don't when they are making plans without you. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't call you. One time they call you, you're actually busy or you don't want to go or you're actually feeling bummed out that because you understand that they are doing this, but you don't want to say no because you don't want to lose the chance. Try saying no. No, but I'm going to be a bad person if I'm not there for my friends. Try saying no. Be a good friend to yourself. Okay? Be a good friend to yourself. Do the unknown. Always do the unknown when you're on this journey of just not being a good person. We're not trying to just not be a good person. We are trying to be our authentic self. Maybe always being there for your friends or going there at the end minute is something so you, something so likable about you because it is actually you. But maybe you don't even know this is actually you. You're just playing a character. Because if this is actually you, and you find that out in ways through authentic search of yourself where you do things that you think are not good, you will realize that even when I'm my entire self, even when I'm entirely what I really want to be, I do have moments where I really am good to people. And I really just want to connect, where I really want to be there, and I just want to be a good friend. You will realize that you are such more likable than you ever thought you were. Because if you keep on making fake identities, the reason probably is because you think the real you is not very likable. But the more you try to make the other people convinced that your mask is really pretty, your mask is really friendly, your mask is really lovable, the you that hides behind the mask is super lonely. And you think you're getting everything, but in reality, you're just deceiving everyone and you're lying to yourself that you're getting friends and you're getting experiences, but in reality, you're just hiding behind a mask and you're lonely and you're sad probably. You don't even like yourself and you don't want to spend time with yourself because you don't like yourself. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be hard to say no, to lose people, to be a bitch sometimes, It's gonna be hard, but you gotta realize that you want to be good. And you want to be good, and that's why you're doing good. Not because it's an identity that you're conforming to. Doesn't know if it makes sense to you. I mean, if it does, I hope you take something away from this video. Because the entire purpose is to live life that just feels so beautiful. While writing content for this video, I was so much in the feels. I wrote this poem. Why are we watching a 20-minute long video about sorting something out like this? Because of this entire reason, because of this one reason that I wrote this poem on. Let me take my paint, lay down the canvas called life, and let me be free enough to paint. The use of being alive. Don't talk to my name, ties like daughters and mine. Let me listen to music and dance, watch stars with me. Then we'll share some sandwiches. Who cares about our life well lived? Let's sit in the shade of this banyan tree and enjoy the sun that quietly sets. While I lay in the lap of mortality, let my spirit be eternal. Don't let the question of afterlife tie me down to fear and anxiety. Guys, that would be it for the video. If you want to start a conversation or want me to respond to something of your thoughts, someone comment that down below. I almost read all of them. Hope you liked the poem. Namaste.